If you have any interest in learning life insurance underwriting, including final expense insurance underwriting, you're definitely in the right place. I mean, where else are you gonna go? In this final expense training video, I'm gonna be going over exactly what you need to do in order to successfully field underwrite life insurance products, including final expense, term life, and universal life. I mean, guys, think about it. The last thing that you want to do is to price out some options, overcome some objections, and then close your sale only to realize that your client doesn't even qualify for the product that you just went through all that stuff with. Whoopsie daisy! That's a great way to blow easy laydown sales, am I right? So if you follow the basic instructions laid out in this video, you're gonna easily become a field underwriting savant. Beware. Just because your client says that she's in perfect health and they're answering no to all the medical questions doesn't mean that they will actually qualify for a level benefit or first day coverage. A doctor will rarely tell a client that they have certain medical conditions like Parkinson's disease. I'm sorry, ma'am, you got Parkinson's disease, or, well, you got congestive heart failure. That's not really how it works in most cases. What they'll actually do is they'll just tell them, here, you're going to need to start taking this medication, this pill, every day, fill the prescription, and you'll be fine. Not only that, but in a lot of cases, the life insurance underwriting process will pull up prescription medications that the client took years ago. And well, they're going to want to know what they took it for and when they started taking it and all of that stuff. Easy, guys. Relax. I promise that by the time you've watched this video, you're going to be great at this and you're going to know exactly how to field underwrite so that you give your clients the best products based on their health. But first, please give the video a thumbs up, and guys, let's just roll the intro. The first tip I'm going to suggest if you're doing your own field underwriting, which you absolutely should be if you're selling life insurance or selling final expense, is to simply follow the cheat sheet that your upline gives you. Now, let me just say, if you're a captive agent, there really may not be a cheat sheet because you only have certain products. But actually, if you're a captive life insurance agent and the company has like multiple products, like Transamerica, for example, they may actually have a cheat sheet for you that's going to help to guide you to go to the right product based on the client's health and age and needs. Other than that, you should absolutely follow the cheat sheet that your upline, the IMO, has for you. Like for our agents, what I've done is I've customized a cheat sheet with our 10 main carriers, the 10 main products that we use, so that if the client tells you they have congestive heart failure, you know exactly where to go. If the client has COPD, you know which carriers are going to actually give your client standard rates, first day coverage, even if they have COPD. And those are just two examples. You know, the idea is, even like on our cheat sheet, it tells you which carriers will take direct express cards. It'll tell you who has a bill chart so that you know where to put those people that maybe have weight issues. And with that, if you'll stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of our medical questions page. This thing is exactly what you're going to want to use when you're asking the client about their health. And it has a place where you can keep notes covering everything: their age, whether they use tobacco or not, or have used tobacco in the past 12 months or not. Place where you can write down the information about their doctors and write down all of their medications. So again, just stick around to the end of this video. This is awesome. I don't care if you're independent or if you're a captive agent, you're gonna love this bad boy. I'll show you how to get it at the end. And please give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube keeps sharing our content with new viewers, and subscribe if you haven't done that. Make sure the notifications are turned on, ring the little bell. That way you're notified every time we put out a new video. So once you've gone through all the medical questions that you need to ask them, it is super important to make sure that the client actually gets up off the couch and goes and gets all of their medication bottles. And if they have a list of the medication that they get from the doctor, most people will have this list. Some, they'll have a hard time finding it. But to me, if you can get both, that's going to make your life so much better because you're going to find old medication bottles that they maybe got switched from one medication to another, as to where on the list it's not going to have that. And why is this important? Because a lot of the underwriting, you're field underwriting. You're determining, where am I going to put this client? How is the insurance company going to view this client compared to the way the questions are on the application and compared to the way they view the specific medications that the clients are on? A lot of times, these folks will be taking maybe 2 or 3 medications for one health condition, but maybe they've been switched from other medications. This is important because when the insurance company does the prescription background check, they're going to see that the client's been taking all kinds of medication back and forth for the past couple of years, which it's smart to think the way they do. So the question is, if the client over the past 2 years have taken 8 different medications for high blood pressure, do they really want to take a chance and assume that the client's got their blood pressure under control? Maybe not. And as simple as that sounds, that could be enough for a client to be offered a graded or modified product instead of the level product. And a lot of medications you'll see get used for 2 different things or multiple things. We call them dual purpose medication. There's medications like amlodipine, for example. It's used for people with high blood pressure, but it's also used for people that have some serious heart conditions. So that can be a red flag too. Guys, if you agree or disagree, please leave a comment. I love to hear from you. You got that comment sections below. Let me know what you think. And if you've got a suggestion or any question, a suggestion for a different video or any questions, you got the comment section. Go ahead and let me know. Share something with me. Every carrier has their own either A, medication list, or B, medication knockout list. You want to use those things. So personally, I always lead with carriers that have an actual medication list, not just a knockout list. Because, well, think of it this way. The one thing that you want to do is see exactly how that carrier views every single medication that the client is taking. This is super important. So to me, it's always easier to lead with a carrier who has a full medication list. Like Prosperity comes to mind. To me, they've got a great list, a lot of medication. And so what you want to do when the client pulls out their medication bottles, you need to look up every single medication on that medication list and take a look how that insurance company is going to view that medication. There are going to be times when you can't find the medication. Common sense, guys. Google it. You'll be surprised. A lot of time you'll realize that maybe it's, I don't know, it's some minor thing that it treats something really silly, and that's why it's not on the medication list. Other times it could be a generic, and now you'll see, oh, this is a blood thinner. Whoa, that's weird. So how do they treat the blood thinners? How do they normally treat a blood thinner that treats, I don't know, it could be anything from heart attack or stroke or blood clotting. Different things, different blood thinners for different conditions. Always ask when the client first got the health issue. Even if it seems right and they've told you, oh no, no, I don't have that issue, and then you see it on the medication, you need to find out, at least if they're not going to tell you how long they've had the potential medical condition, at least how long they've been taking the medication. So a lot of times you'll find out that certain medications like nitroglycerin, perfect example. Let's say the client was diagnosed with angina, and this was 3 years ago, and they've been taking nitroglycerin, prescribed nitroglycerin. They shouldn't be taking it very often, if ever, but they're prescribed it, so they keep it with them in case they get that heart pain, that angina pain. If they've been prescribed it for more than 2 years with some carriers, like Transamerica, for example, you can still give them their preferred rates. So it's important to find out when they were first prescribed the medication and when they were first told by the doctor, first diagnosed of the condition. Know before you go. I firmly believe, especially if you're a new agent and you're learning your underwriting, that you should be leading with a company that's either going to have an e-application while you're sitting with the client. You can fill it out and you can find out if they're approved right then and there while you're with the client, or that does a telephone interview. So again, to me, all right, so here, I'll give you a good example. Transamerica isn't going to do that. With their e-app, their new e-app, and they got a decent product. With their new e-app, what they'll do is they'll email you later and let you know that the client's been approved, or we're offering something else, or the client's been declined. And the reason I bring that up is because the weird thing is with Transamerica, they may email you 2 minutes later, or they may email you 3 hours later. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but I would rather, for you to be a new agent, I would rather you know before you leave the client's house exactly what product they're approved for. So like Prosperity, Royal Neighbors, two of those companies, for example, on their e-apps, their electronic application, it's going to tell you right while you're doing it. The cool thing about those e-apps is you'll start to do the e-app, you'll get through the first couple of pages, you'll put in the client's information, and it'll even tell you, hey, you can apply for standard or for modified based on the background information. Because what they do is as soon as you start to type in the client's information, they're actually going to start doing the background check automatically, electronically for you. So a lot of times what I don't like doing is doing a whole e-app and then 20 minutes later or 15 minutes later finding out at the end that the client's not approved. So at least they give you a hint. Companies like, again, Prosperity and Royal Neighbor, they'll give you a hint at the beginning whether your client should be approved as applied for or not. If you're selling regular life insurance products, regular universal life or term life insurance, some of the products like Mutual of Omaha, for example, they've got that Term Life Express product where you get on the phone and you do the interview with the client while you're filling out the paper application or the e-application, and they'll let you know right then and there if the client's approved as applied for or not. So for term life products, to me, that makes sense. Now, if you're doing fully underwritten, I'm going to give you another pro tip. You want to set up the paramed. In other words, the paramedics got to come to the client's house. They're going to, ask them to pee in a cup. They're going to draw some blood. They may even stick them on a scale. And you want to set that up while you're with the client at the client's house, if possible. And I say if possible because sometimes you can't get a hold of the paramed. You can't get a hold of the company that you're using. But the last thing you want to do is allow the insurance carrier to set that up with you. That's a great way to blow sales. It's just not the way you want to do it. So, again, always make sure you set up your own parameds. Guys, for a copy of the medical questions page that I mentioned earlier, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling insurance through us as an independent agent, it doesn't matter if it's final expense, term life, or even like Medicare products, shoot me an email at that same address, doug@ufesonline.com. You'll find that our training supports everything that an independent agent wants to do as an independent agent. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get on out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.